During the planning time before each round, you can switch out the support Pokémon you want to use. You can choose which support Pokémon you want to use from your active support set. You can select a support Pokémon that suits your battle strategy. Or support Pokémon come in 3 different types: Attack, Disrupt, and Enhance. Attack-type support Pokémon come in handy when you want to deal out damage and push your opponent back. Disrupt-type support Pokémon typically swoop in to block your opponent's movements. Sometimes they can even counter your opponent's attacks. Enhance-type support Pokémon will power up your Pokémon or heal some of your HP, things like that. Pick a support Pokémon that suits your playstyle, and be sure to use it when the time's right. Sometimes, when you use support Pokémon, your battle Pokémon will receive a status. These statuses include positive statuses and negative statuses. First things first, positive statuses. While you're under the effect of a positive status, you'll get some sort of advantage. For instance, Eevee will give you a positive status that grants you a temporary increase to your attack. The effect depends on the support Pokémon, but things will be in your favor while you have a positive status. Next up, we have negative statuses. Get hit with a negative status, and you'll temporarily be at a disadvantage. Take Emolga, for example. He'll hit you with an attack that temporarily reduces your speed. Use these statuses to your advantage to get the lead in battle. Between rounds, I'll drop in to cheer you on. Depending on whether you win or lose a round, your support gauge or your synergy gauge may get a boost. There are several types of cheering you might receive. There are cheer skills that are in effect from the first round, as well as those with special effects. Be sure to test out any new cheer skills you get. Sometimes, during field phase, you'll find power scattered around. You can pick up this power to fill up your synergy gauge. Power on the field will disappear if you don't pick it up after a certain amount of time. Go ahead and pick up the power that appears on the field. The tide of the battle can really change depending on where the power appears on the field. Now, let me tell you a bit about each battle Pokémon's recommended actions. Why don't you try this out? Nicely done! Next, give this a shot. All right, and now this. Nicely done!
Tutorial finished.
Okay, Teil 2 von 3. Das wird komplizierter, als ich gedacht habe. Ach, vielleicht kriege ich neue Helfer mit den Amigos. Ja, mal einloggen. Ich habe hier 2, 3 rumstehen von Pokémon. Mache ich dann mal. Also, wir machen jetzt Tricks für Fortgeschrittene noch. Und dann war es das eigentlich. Jo. Los geht's.
Choose your Pokémon.
Ah ja, Pokémon-mäßig wählen noch. Ja, Gewaltrum. Und die Ladescreens schneide ich dann ab und zu raus.
In this course, I'll teach you a few techniques that should help you out in battle. During duel phase, press down on the plus control pad to enter into a low stance. While in low stance, press the Y button to use a quick attack. Press the X button while in low stance to use an attack to knock down your opponent. Try to land an attack from low stance. It doesn't matter what kind. Nicely done! By pressing up on the plus control pad, your Pokémon will take a high stance. By pressing the Y button in a high stance, you can perform an intercepting attack on an airborne opponent. In a high stance, you can press the X button to use an attack that will parry low-to-the-ground attacks. Try to use an attack from a high stance. Keep it up. You can hold down the button to charge up your counterattack. It'll take some time to charge, but you'll deal more damage, and you'll also get a combo for managing to land a hit. By charging up your counterattack, you can increase the amount of time you can ward off your opponent's attacks. Try to charge up a counterattack. Nicely done. During a counterattack, use the plus control pad and the R button to cancel and move into a step. This is simply called a cancel. You can use counterattacks to deflect your opponent's attacks and then cancel. Try to cancel a counterattack. Nicely done! Piercing attacks are special moves that cannot be blocked by counterattacks. For example, counterattacks with a fully charged hold become piercing attacks. Your best bet with counterattacks is to take the initiative and get the first move in. In field phase, you can also hold the last hit of a homing attack to make it a piercing attack. Your Pokémon won't take any hits while knocked down. And it'll get back up on its own, too. But this will give your opponent the chance to move in for an attack, so you'll need to be careful. Depending on the attack, you may take some damage regardless of whether you had your block up or not. This is called block damage. But you'll never be KO'd by block damage. If you keep blocking against an attack, you'll notice that the block will start to turn red. If you don't release it, you'll eventually get hit with a guard break. When you're hit with a guard break, you will be left momentarily defenseless. How many attacks you can endure before getting hit with a guard break depends on the Pokémon. Blocking is important, there's no doubt about it, but try not to get hit with a guard break. While in Synergy Burst, you won't be stunned from taking a few small hits. So you can move in for the attack without worrying about your opponent's ranged attacks one bit. Try to hit an opponent using a ranged attack with a homing attack. Keep it up. When your opponent uses their Synergy Burst, you'll want to try to use the X button for strong attacks to stun them, or grab attack to try to stop them from getting in any attacks. You can link up one attack with the next. This is what we call a combo. Let's try to land a simple combo. Relax. Just focus on one attack at a time. You're not bad. You don't have to master high-level combos right away, but it might be fun to try things out once you get the hang of battling. I'm sure you've already noticed that battle Pokémon all have different amounts of HP, right? On top of that, how quickly the Synergy gauge fills up and how long a Synergy burst lasts also differ from one Pokémon to the next. Crazy, right? There are all sorts of different battle stages, and the battle arenas themselves vary slightly in shape and size. Battle Pokémon all have their strengths and weaknesses, and you'll have to be ready to switch up your fighting style from time to time. As you battle, your Pokémon will increase its skill level. As you increase your skill level, you can apply those skill points to whichever skills you'd like. As your skills level up, you'll get all sorts of useful advantages in battle. Remember, you can switch out your skill points from My Town whenever you want.
Tutorial finished.